Something hit Jungkook's arm, drawing his attention. He furrowed his brows, looking down to see crumpled paper. He picked it up and folded it. You are too focused on studies that you don't even look at me. I'm hungry. A small smile formed on his lips, recognizing the familiar writing. His eyes darted in the glass of the source and finally fell on women who have a small pout decorating her lips. Carefully and not drawing attention, he looked at the teacher and then began to write a response. He folded the paper and skillfully throwing it back to her. He encouraged with a smile, unfolding the paper. You just ate before this class. Jungkook unfolded the paper again as she responded back. Your baby girl demands for a lot of food, so don't dare to complain. A chuckle escaped his lips, unintentionally catching the professor's attention. Is there something more interesting than class, young Jungkook? Jungkook quickly hid the paper under his desk, straightening up. No, not at all, ma'am. So you better be focusing on the lecture instead of making scenarios and laughing them afterward. Jungkook looked down, feeling embarrassed. He glanced at Yoon, who was innocently smiling, as if she was not the one distracting him. Where are you going now? Taehyung asked, as Jungkook was slipping on his jacket. To my house. Why? Did something happen? Why do you need to go there? I need to bring my clothes, can't wear you all the time. Didn't I told you can use my wardrobe anytime I might go? I know that, but you are already doing so much for me, I'm just being a burden. Come on, how many times do I have to tell you? Come on, how many times do I have to repeat those words? You're not a burden. You're like a brother to me, we are family. Thank you, Young. And oh, just make sure you come back home before dinner. Mom's making your favorite. He smiled and nodded his head before walking out of the house. It's been 2 weeks since Jungkook started staying at Taehyung house. He couldn't help but feel embarrassed. He never wanted to be a burden on his friend. Yet Taehyung insisted he could stay as long as he needed. Jungkook was grateful for the kindness, as he truly had nowhere else to go. Surprisingly, Taehyung's parents treated him like a son as well. If it were not for Taehyung, he might have found himself on the street by now. Jungkook almost replayed his decision 1,000 times in his mind, questioning how he ended up here. Now he found himself almost dependent on Taehyung, even though he tried his best not to burden him too much with his mere existence. Yet it made him guilt inside that now he had to be dependent on someone. Jungkook made his way to the familiar street where his house stood. It had been a while since he had last stepped through that door. The memories of heated argument lingered in the air as he turned the key in the lock. The door creaked open. He still has keys and he don't have any plan to meet anyone, so he will just quickly pack his bag and leave. So he did, packed his bag, and when he was about to leave, luck was not on his side. Did you finally realize and come back soon? Jungkook closed his eyes for a moment, taking in a deep breath. I just came to get my clothes. I'm not staying. His father continued eating, seemingly unbothered by his son's presence. You think you can leave? You will rot in the street if you keep acting like a child. It's time to start thinking wisely. Jungkook paused, his back turning towards his father, the harsh comment hitting his nerves. Think wisely? That's exactly what I'm doing. If you were, you wouldn't be leaving the house. You do stay and do what your elders tell you. You do be responsible. And what are you telling me is right? I would never do that. His father shook his head dismissively. It's just a fantasy. Open your eyes. There will be nothing in your hand. You still have time. I'll get you married to my friend's daughter and you will have a secure future. Are you even hearing yourself? Not just you wanted to run away from my responsibility, you are telling me to marry someone just for money? And yes, isn't it money that matters, son? Jungkook kept quiet and stared at his father, who scoffed. You're fool to think you can defy social expectations. Look at yourself. You're homeless, jobless, and now a father. What kind of future can you offer? Jungkook clenched his jaw. His father is somewhere right. If the circumstances would be different, there will be many options, but now he is bound. In this month, he thought about it a lot. How he is going to face challenges as many sleepless nights, but then there is a small hope that won't let him give up the thought of his baby, and he will not come in anyone worse. Maybe there is not much now, but I'll find a way. and I don't need your help in any of this. I'll figure it out on my own. With that, he turned around, refusing to stay in that suffocating place any longer. Perhaps this was the best, finally moving away from the toxic environment that he had clouded his mind and moving forward with his life. Perhaps it was all for the best. Standing in front of the mirror, Yun tilted her head, gazing at her reflection. She noticed a subtle change in her body, the way her clothes hugged her differently. A soft sigh escaped her lips and she realized it was getting harder to conceal her belly, especially in the school uniform. The once easy task of hiding her growing belly was now becoming harder and harder day by day. She ran a hand over her abdomen, feeling the slight curve that was becoming more pronounced with each passing day. She wondered how much longer she could keep it secret, especially in the unforgiving environment of high school. Her brows furrowed as she heard some shuffling, but the next moment her eyes widened when she saw the reflection of someone in the mirror, and then a loud thud followed by a groan. She quickly turned around, her gaze looking under Jungkook, who was sprawled on the floor, his pants were caught on the corner of the window. "Jungkook, what on the earth are you doing here?" she exclaimed, rushing over to help him up. He winced, rubbing his side where the impact seems to have landed. "I'm just having a bad day, don't mind me." The knock on her door startled both of them. "Yun, dear, everything alright inside? Do you need help?" "No, Mom, everything's fine. My book fell down." I'm okay. Sleep well then, "You too, Mom," she said back, and then she heard the footsteps fading away. She looked back at Jungkook, who was already staring at her. "Were you going to sleep? Did I disturb you?" "No, you didn't. I won't be sleeping this early." What were you doing then?" He glanced around her room and she stared at him in question. "Nothing special. What are you doing here?" "I don't know too. I was just, you smoked before coming here, didn't you?" Jungkook stepped back a little, knowing she hated the smell, and he forgot to wash his mouth. He practically came here because he wanted to see her, no thoughts involved. Do you have a candy then?" "Yeah, in that drawer. I hid it from Yoongi. He ate all my snacks." He eats all my snacks." Jungkook nodded before walking towards the door, where there were almost all kinds of candies. "You shouldn't be eating this much candies, or you won't have to eat till you reach your 40s. You rolled her as she settled down on the bed. "You shouldn't be smoking that much, or you'll be dead before you reach your 40s. Jungkook choked. "Well, damn." He sat beside her and picked up her notes. Not that he was finally here, he don't know what to do. He fell back on the bed, his eyes closed. He watched him for a moment before breaking the silence. "So what's the reason for your unexpected visit?" "Not that I'm complaining, but it's a bit unusual." "Nothing, you don't worry about it." You doesn't hyper or something. There was something more to his statement. "So you won't tell me now?" "Fine." She said and looked away from him. Jung hesitated, his gaze shifted to the ceiling. "My dad found out about you and the baby." "He knows?" She instantly turned to him and Jung nodded. "What happened?" "An argument, accusations, lot of yelling. Long story short, I'm not welcome in the house anymore." I suffered. "Jungkook, why didn't you tell me before?" "Don't worry about it. I'll deal with it." "When did he get to know about all this?" 2 weeks probably. "You should have told me sooner, Jungkook. Why are you hiding things from me? Where are you staying?" "At the house until I find some suitable place. You can stay here with us, Jungkook looked at her, shaking his head. "No, like I said, don't worry about me. They is helping me enough." Ina stared at him silently. He yawned, a sudden weight of tiredness from the day crashing down on him. "You look tired. Why don't you rest here tonight? You don't have to go back to there." "Oh yeah, you surely want me dead before I even get to see my baby?" Ian chuckled, hitting his chest. "They are not Hitler. I swear, just a little scolding and everything would be fine." Jungkook thought about it for a moment and nodded his head. The idea was something he can't deny. He was literally tired. Today was exhausting, mentally and physically. After a while, they both settled on the bed. There was a noticeable distance between them. As they shifted to get comfortable, he hesitated. The bed was not that big. If he moved away more, he would definitely fall down. And being too sleepy to overthink, he closed the gap between them. Her muscle tensed for a moment under his touch, then relaxed as she felt his warmth. Jungkook closed his eyes, lifting his hand slightly and slid into her waist. He was hesitant, but when she didn't wake and continued to breathe softly, he took it as a sign that she was comfortable. Not knowing her heart was beating faster than usual. Oh, how much she missed his touch. That touch was something she missed without realizing it all the time. To have him close felt nice, so nice that she wanted to never let go. She yearned for nights where it just two of them cuddling together and sharing everything. A realization hit her. She was effortlessly falling in love with him. Love? But does he love this? But does he feel the same? Does he love her as much as she loved him? The fear of getting hurt again lingered, but over the past few months he had shown nothing but care. The way he treated her, how he never complained about anything, and how he was simply able to accept her whining and fulfill her cravings. All these moments painted a picture of his affection. She couldn't help but wonder if it was love or just because he had duty to fulfill. But then again, it's not like he was bound to run away to. All the thoughts vanished when he started to kiss her brim softly. He kissed her ever so slightly, making her melt in his embrace. It was the first time he touched her, and his finger traced a gentle curve. He couldn't help but notice how much it had grown. He didn't notice many changes in her body before because of her clothing, and she had hidden in well. As he continued kissing her belly, he suddenly felt a subtle movement beneath his hand. He almost flinched back in surprise. What was that? He asked, looking at Yun. A smile formed on her lips as she grabbed his hand and placed it back on her belly. She could feel the little cakes and shift beneath her skin. Sensing his hesitation, she covered his hand with hers, guiding him to feel the movement more clearly. "She's awake," she whispered, and Jungkook held his breath, feeling her cakes. "It's her time to annoy me. Is this normal?" he asked, amused, and Yun chuckled softly. The next morning, Jungkook didn't feel like waking up. The cozy blanket around him made it too comfy to leave. Even though the alarm kept ringing, he couldn't find the energy to turn it off. The thought of school made him want to stay all on the bed. Suddenly, the alarm sound faded as if someone turned it off, and then he heard a soft voice. "Jungkook, wake up, it's time for school," she said, and he yawned, not wanting to face another day of that awful place. Her girl's hand touched his cheeks, and he weakly murmured, "You let me sleep a bit more." But Yun didn't listen. She tapped his cheeks again, and Jungkook moved fast, grabbing his hand and intertwining them with his. He wanted to stay in the sleepy world. Her hands were so soft, slim, and so manly. Wait, what the hell? Manly? Why her hands are like this? "Honey, should I throw your water on you, or will you wake up by yourself?" His eyes snapped open at the sudden realization that it was not Inez, but her brother standing there. The self-proclaimed devil swan. A perplexed realization dawned on him. What a fantastic day to start the day. He looked at Yun, who was behind her brother, covering her ears as if something big was about to happen. He looked back at his brother, who was looking at him. "I'll kill you and eat you" expression. "Good morning." And then the sudden greeting. Yun stared nonchalantly. Jungkook shot up on the bed, sitting straight like an arrow. "Good morning, Hyun. Come downstairs, we have prepared a breakfast for you. Hope you have slept well." "Well then, is he going to die in such young age? Because there's no way Yoongi will spare him." "Hyun, I'll just go. I already late. This is not the time to start. Get yourself together," he mentally scolded himself. He tried to stand up, but Yoongi burst out him in his bags. "Oh really? But you're a guest. Oops, my bad. I should say uninvited guest. So we should give you special treatment, right?" Yoongi said, crossing his arm over her chest, and Jungkook, "You want wanted the earth to swallow him alive. That's the thing he was afraid of when Jen offered him to sleep here. But the idea of sleeping beside her was too good that he almost forgot about the consequence. I didn't mean to intrude. I can leave now. He looked at Yoon, who had a "I'm sorry" expression written all over her face. Yoongi gazed lingered on Jungkook for a moment longer before he burst into laughter. Relax, kid. I'm just messing with you. We don't eat our guest here. At least, not yet. Jungkook visibly relaxed, letting out a nervous chuckle, and Yoon started at his comment. Earlier, he came here to wake her up, and his habit of not knocking on the door. She was already awake, brushing her teeth, when he burst into her room and caught Jungkook sleeping there. Well, then his evil mind activated and decided to annoy Jungkook, which turned out to be quite successful. Come on, let's go eat. I'm sure you are starving after climbing window to window. Yeah, no, I should really go. Besides, Uncle and Aunt won't be happy to see me here. Come on, I won't repeat myself. Come down before I change my mind. He said in his front room, and Jungkook curled nervously. Okay, I will. Good, Yoongi said, turning around. He looked at his sister and winked, smiling evilly. The door of the room closed and Yoon burst into laughter. Jungkook shot her a glare and he let his body fall back on the bed dramatically. Laugh at my misery. Now I know where you get those threatening skills from. You should have looked at your face. She spoke between her laugh and dropped herself beside him. Jungkook shook his head. Did you plan this all night? Why didn't you wake me up? I was going to, but you look so tired, so I'll let you sleep 5 minutes more. But then Yoongi barked in. Jungkook sighed, realizing that he's falling victim to the mischievous plan of both siblings. Your brother is terrifying. I thought I was going to be the main course or something. He's always like this, and someone told me he's not afraid of my brother. I take that back. You juggle. Come on, get up before he comes back and drag you down. You and your parents, I've made an excuse that you want to pick me up, and I invited you inside. Jump from the window and then come back in front. She wiggled her brows and Jungkook gave her thumbs up. You're a genius. They both never thought that they would get in a situation like that. But again, why is it so hard to understand? Yoon sighed in frustration as she crossed her knots. Just one day off, and now she felt completely lost. Someone cleared the thought, and nearby, startled, she looked up only to find herself almost falling back from the chair when she saw who it was. Jaewon? Hi. Oh, hi. She mentally facepalmed herself for certain. Not the time yet. Hope I didn't disturb you. Oh, no, you didn't. I was free. Jaewon smiled as he took a seat beside her. She can't believe he chose to sit next to her. Trying to keep her composure, she went back to her notes, pretending to be engrossed in her studies. So you were on leave yesterday, right? He nodded, feeling surprised that he noticed. Wasn't the lecture confusing today? Yes, I can't seem to grasp the concept. I could help you understand it better if you want. Then stared at him with wide eyes. All of a sudden, you want to help her. I know you must be wondering why I'm here. Yeah, I mean, no. He chuckled. Actually, I was searching for you. He was surprised as he continued. Tomorrow, the teacher assigned us some homework assigned as a group. 3 people each. It's a small assignment, and the teacher paired me with you. If you are free after this, we could go somewhere and discuss that assignment together. Sure. Jaewon smiled as he stood up before leaving the classroom, and you stared at his walking figure. She recalled the time when she used to secretly watch him in class. Jaewon is really pretty. Any girl would dare to be with him, because he has everything a girl could ask for. Jungkook's finger moved across his phone, tapping a message that said more than just a word. Hey, are you free? He When Jungkook arrived at Yoon's place, she was already ready for him. Outside her house, her hands were tucked inside her pocket and a large coat enveloped her figure, providing warmth in the chilly evening. The court hood was drawn over her head, partly concealing her face. Their eyes locked and Yoon smiled widely, waving her hand, and the sight of her made his heart skip a beat. You should have stayed inside. Why are you standing outside? Nothing, I was just excited. Me too. It's been so long since we have had a time together. Right, they both began to walk beside each other, strolling together in the chilly night as the soft light illuminated the street. How was your day? Not bad, just the usual. How about yours? Work was hectic, but meeting you now make it all worth it. A blush crept onto her cheeks and she nudged him gently. Where did you start to learn all these cheesy lines? Jungkook chuckled. You surely know how to read the moment. Can't help it. Is there any special place you want to go? Surprise me, I'm up for anything. Jungkook grinned. He hadn't decided anything specific, but he knew that as long as they were together, it was enough for him. Even a walk in silence would warm his chest with happiness. But will it take times away from your own studies? Yeah, it might, but we are almost close to finishing our school too. Just 2 more months. I think you can manage both. Have you decided which university you want to go? I don't know yet. I just hope I get good grades in finance. I know you will. You improved a lot. Jungkook smiled, her voice giving him a sense of assurance. It meant a lot that someone believed in him. Hey, look there, I want ice cream, she said, excitedly pointing at the shop, and Jungkook furrowed his eyebrow. You know, you will catch a cold. No, I won't. Pretty please, please, I want it. Look at the weather, it's already freezing. What will you do? Eating ice cream? We can eat something warm. Yuna stared at him, tears started to form in her eyes, and her lips started to tremble. He panicked, immediately regretting his resistance. No, no, I mean, we can get ice cream. Just a small one, okay? Her eyes lit up and she smiled, her tears disappearing as quickly as they come. Yay, thank you. Jungkook chuckled as she happily started to jump into the shop. Why is she so cute? As they entered the shop, the girl behind the counter asked, what flavor would you like? All of them. Jungkook raised his brow. Choose one. But I want all of them, she whined, glaring at him, and his shoulders slumped in defeat. I want all of them, she insisted and turned to the girl behind the counter. Can you do small scoops of each flavor? The girl nodded and Jungkook just watched in defeat. Girl behind the counter began to preparing small scoops of each flavor in a box. See, they look so colorful. Jungkook chuckled, realizing he couldn't argue with her logic. They took their ice cream and headed outside. We should sit somewhere. What about the swing? She pointed at the swing in nearby park, few steps away, and Jungkook nodded as they made their way to the swing. Yun sat down, her eyes gleaming with excitement.